Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your Sangha and for the words of wisdom. Thank you, Kalkishore Prabhu, for inviting me. Maharaj's class was sobering and also hope-giving. I found it sobering because the way he exposed the spiritual bankruptcy that exists was quite graphic. The examples he gave was very hard-hitting. Made a lot of sense, Maharaj. And hope-giving because Maharaj repeatedly explained, because of his also academic background, also his spiritual practices, the power of the holy name, the power of spiritual practices. And one particular statement hit me so hard. Now, when these people say that I have no time, I'm a doctor, I'm so busy. Simple thing Maharaj said, let us sit. Let us dissect your time. Let us dissect to 24 hours. Immediately, any person will be exposed. Nobody can claim that they have no time if they are willing to sit and understand. So that was very powerful, Maharaj. Thank you. I've been asked to also share my thoughts on the topic of harnessing the mind's power. So we have, all of us, we may not have seen the mind, but we know there is a mind. We all feel it. We know that there is something up here. And some places it is called in the scriptures manas, some places it is called man, sometimes people call it as buddhi, some people call it as ahankara, some people call it chitta, some people call it as a conglomeration of all of this. Essentially everybody knows there is something inside. So there is this very powerful thing inside, which we, for simplifying terms, we call it as mind. And we need this mind for success. We need its use. We need to use it. We need to harness its power. Unfortunately, we are not able to use the mind because the mind is using us. Just like we are not using the smartphone, many of us, the smartphone is using us. Similarly, we are not using the mind is using us. So, there are few things if we do, simple things. Jai Shri Shada Gopijana Vallabh Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Patit Pavan Gaur Hari Bhagwan ki Jai. So, how do we use this mind in such a way that we get more power, we get more time, more energy, right? All of us want that. We all feel, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm not able to do so much. Like because I'm getting disturbed, I overthink, I analyze, I have anxiety. So what are the practical things we could do by which we can harness this power? Because whether you are a housewife, whether you are a corporate successful manager, whether you are a child, everybody feels overwhelmed because of their mind, right? The greatest warrior this planet has ever seen is Arjuna. And in the first chapter of Gita 1.29 and 30, he explains to Krishna that, Krishna, I am overwhelmed by my own mind. Nacha shaknom avasthatum brahmati vache manah. I cannot stand here. Vepatuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate gandhi vasham shate hasta tvakcheva paridayate. I am shocked, Krishna. I am feeling weak. I can't fight. A warrior who's never lost a battle, his mind overwhelms him. So we all will go through moments of vulnerability, weakness. So we need to harness this powerful mind, otherwise the mind will destroy us. The scriptures explain, Bandhuratmat manastasya enatmaivatmana jita anatmanastu shatrutve varte tatmaiva shatruvat. The mind can be the best of the friends or the worst of the enemy. And Maharaj said that we have to control the mind if we have to make the mind the best of the friends. If we don't control the mind becomes the enemy. I remember once in the initial days I wanted to do a mind control seminar. I don't do that now. But when I said mind control seminar, one boy came to me and said, so the seminar will help me control others' mind? I said, it is not for controlling others' mind. So we are always living in the world outside of us. We need to understand our own inner world. So this is extremely powerful demon inside because it is not controlled. Look at the tragedy in modern times. People say that we want peace. And they also say we want to fulfill our desires. How can you have both? If you're going to always be fulfilling your desires, you'll be agitated. And you're saying, I want peace also. Either you decide, I want to fulfill my desires and be miserable. Or you say, I want peace and I'm willing to give up material desires. You can't have both. Anyway, so this mind is a reality. It causes a lot of problem. And just give you one example to explain how the mind can be deadly. Then we'll discuss 4 practical things we could do to harness this power. But before we understand the 4 practical things, we need to know how powerful the mind can be. His Holiness Srila Sachinandan Swami Maharaj said that his father was in railways in Germany. So his father's colleague, he went to the railway station. So there is one wagon where refrigeration is, it is used for refrigeration. Vegetables and things are kept inside. And there is a certain degree of temperature at which it is maintained. So Maharaj's father's colleague went inside and for inspection. And at one point of time, the door got locked from outside. Somebody locked it. And he came running and he banged the door, but the person locked it and left. And now, because he was an engineer himself, he knew that if somebody is stuck in that cabin, in that wagon, for I think 7 hours or something, then a person freezes to death because that's how cold it is. You can't last more than 7 hours. So this man knew it. So immediately he started banging, and during those days they didn't have cell phones. He started shouting, but nobody was hearing him. And he knew that 7 hours, I will die in 7 hours. So he was trying his best. He couldn't come out. And next day morning, when the people were looking for him and they opened the wagon and they found him dead, naturally, he was frozen to death. But you know what was the most amazing twist to this story? This was the most dramatic thing that people were shocked. Because last 36 hours in that entire region, there was no electricity. That means the wagon was not cold. But what happened to him? He was frozen to death. So who killed him? The cold killed him? Mind. That's why the scriptures say mind is the worst of the enemy. The Upanishads give the story of a sadhu who was sitting under a tree and doing meditation. Om. And a snake came, slithering, and the snake bit him. Poisonous snake. Oh! And he opened his eyes and he saw. What was that? He couldn't see the snake, but he saw a mouse run away. So he thought the mouse bit him. So he continued his meditation. Oh, oh. His life went on as normal, nothing had happened. And after a few days, he was again sitting under the tree and doing, oh, one mouse came and bit him. And he looked around and he saw one snake go by. And in a few minutes, he was dead. So who killed him? Mind. Mind is extremely powerful. So sometimes even devotees go through this because we don't know how to handle, how to harness this power. We become weak. And best of us can go through extremely weak moments. So what are the 4 things we could do? Srila Prabhupada gave us 4 simple formula by which we could harness this power of the mind. You want to know what are this? Very easy to remember. A, B, C, D. D stands for diet. In Hindi they say, Jaisa Anna, Vaisa Man. What you eat will affect your mind. Eat healthy, offered food to Krishna. Basically, of eating food purifies the consciousness. This is 1. C, A, B, C, D. C stands for chanting the holy names of Krishna. Chanting cleans the heart. And B stands for books, basically means wisdom, higher intelligence. And A, association. When we have good friends, good people around us, That helps us handle our mind. Because our mind, sometimes we say, no, Prabhuji, I will use my intelligence. But if our intelligence is not derived from higher intelligence, means books, spiritual wisdom, Krishna Katha, association of sadhus like Maharaj, if we don't, that is called as higher intelligence. That is called as books. When we access intelligence beyond ourselves, that is association and books. That will help us control our mind. Our intelligence will not help us. Our intelligence is also contaminated. Do you know that? Our intelligence is contaminated. There is actually in the inner world, there is how many of you from childhood have been taught manners, etiquette? Like say uncle, in India we are taught, namaste auntie, namaste uncle. Or we are told, don't dig your nose, sit properly, say please, we've been taught, say thank you. All of us have been taught etiquette, how to talk, how to behave, how to sit, how to walk. How many of us have been taught etiquette about how to think, how not to think, what thoughts to allow? This nobody teaches. But there is a whole world inside. We need to learn the etiquette of this world also, how this world operates. Just like outside world, there are laws, traffic laws, police laws. Similarly, there are laws in the inner world. Nobody teaches us these laws. There are two worlds we all live in. One is the outside world where we have manners, etiquette, we smile. But there is a world inside. Like in the Harry Potter world, there are two worlds. The world of the Muggles and the world of the wizards. Right? Two worlds. So the wizard world has its own Olympics, own police force, own banking system. Right? There is a platform in that. I was in London last year, King's Cross Station. They made me enter that. That was platform 9 3/4. They baptized me. It was like a holy place, yatra for me. They said, Prabhuji, you should come here. You should go to. So there is a pillar from which I think they used for Harry Potter movie. So then they were embracing that pillar. I said, I will embrace this pillar only if Nursing Dev will come out of this pillar. Otherwise, I'm not embracing. So the whole idea is they are explaining that if you enter this pillar, then you enter the other world, the wizard world. Right? That's the world of the Muggles. This is the world of the Muggles, and that's the world of the wizards. Similarly, we are living in the outside world, in the world of the Muggles. There is a whole inside world of mind, intelligence, ego, and nobody has taught us how this operates. So how this operates, the scriptures explain. Simple language I'll explain. In the inner world, there is a mafia, there is a gang, and the boss of this gang is called ego, false ego. He is the unseen dawn. He issues a diktat. I am the enjoyer. I am the greatest. I am wonderful. I am the best. That is the false ego's order. And the false ego has two servants. On the right side, there is a bodyguard. His name is mind. He says, yes, boss. When the false ego says, I am enjoyer, the mind says, mind is the bodyguard who has only one function. Sankalpa, Vikalpa. Means what does the mind do? Accept or reject. So for example, the false ego says what? I am the enjoyer. See, externally what is happening? We are meeting each other in the temple. Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you? I'm fine. How are you doing? Great. So this is all going on externally. Please take prasad. Oh, how's the job going on? What is the son doing? All that we talk. But internally what's happening? The false ego is saying, I am the enjoyer. And then one person comes and says, Prabhuji, it was a very nice class you gave. So the mind is the first bodyguard. So what is the mind's job? To protect the ego. And what is the mind's function? What does it do? Accept or reject. So when someone comes and tells me, Prabhu, you gave a very good class, the false ego is happy. Because false ego is saying, I am the enjoyer. So what will the mind do to that person? The mind will reject or accept him. Accept. Mind will accept. Very good person, very good person. Mind will say, very nice person. Prabhuji is very nice. Why? Because he massaged my ego. But the false ego has second bodyguard on the left side. What is that bodyguard called? Intelligence. What does intelligence do? Intelligence gives reasons, analysis to confirm what the mind did. What did the mind do? Accept. The intelligence will say, he is very good because he is from IIT, very big engineer, from very good college, he is from MIT. And intelligent people, that is why you could recognize that I am very good, my class was good. Because my classes will only attract intelligent people. So he is a very intelligent person. So what has intelligence done? Given analysis. So same person, tomorrow he tells someone, Prabhuji is very arrogant. Last year he was okay, but this year he's become puffed up. Or, he has become now guru, he has become GBC, he has become sannyasi. Whatever, the mind will say, the person may say something about you. So then the mind, so you come to know, what has happened to the false ego? False ego, I am the enjoyer, that has been hurt. So when the false ego is hurt, when the dawn is attacked, what will the bodyguard do? Protect. So what will the bodyguard do now? So yesterday he accepted him. Today what will the bodyguard do? Reject. And what will the intelligence do? Oh, he's from MIT. No, MIT means proud. Education leads to proud. Kunti Devi has said in 9th chapter of first canto. So you start putting verses, all the analysis, everything is there. Intelligence will provide everything. Contaminated intelligence. So both mind and intelligence will nicely protect the false ego. So we are completely fooled. The soul is suffering. So therefore, we need association. We need equals, seniors who can give us feedback, who can help us, who can correct us. Association. And books means higher wisdom, because that intelligence is better than our intelligence, because our intelligence is contaminated. Sometimes we think, I will think, Prabhuji, I will solve my problem by introspection. Introspection is bogus if it is not having higher connection. Because thinking does not mean knowing. You can think, but not know the truth. Because you can be stuck in a negative loop. You can be stuck in a negative loop. Because 99% of our problem, which is in the subconscious mind, our thoughts, feelings, and our desires, we cannot access it by our thinking. Only by mercy it is revealed. So we need higher intelligence, which is books. We need association. And most important, we need chanting and diet. We need prasad and chanting. Chanting because the holy name is sound. Maharaj is amazingly, I was so amazed by this term itself. Sonic therapy. What is the second word? Therapeutic intervention. Sonic therapeutic intervention. So this is therapeutic. The sound, Hare, Krishna and Ram, this sound is not matter. The sound is transcendental. So when we say, and what a point Maharaj made, because it is simple and it is free, we don't take it back. If somebody, when I said that, it immediately it was like bang on, I could connect to it. In India, when we do Holy Name seminar, we give Holy Name free beats, nobody takes it seriously. If you say $500, people will say, must be very, very good. Because, we are diseased. We are suspicious. And simple things we easily miss. And I've seen even as a child, some of the simplest things we miss in life. Just because it is simple but it is profound. Like when, in school, we had this maths exam. And when I saw one particular sum, it was carrying 10 marks. It was a 100 marks exam. And other sums I was solving. And I saw this, it was very easy. I said, 10 marks for this? No, there is some catch here. I will do this later. So I kept it for the last. And then I spent a lot of time analyzing that question. How can it be so simple? No, there is some twist here, some catch here. So I was trying to think. Finally, time got over. The examiner took away the paper. And I came out of the examination, we were all talking. And one person said, it is very simple. It has to be we just have to take the average and add it. When he said it, it was like, my God, I lost 10 marks just because of overthinking. It was so simple and straightforward. This is exactly our situation. Harinam, Hare Krishna mantra is so simple, so sweet, so sublime, so powerful. But we are like, we don't take it, we just take it cheaply. We don't take it seriously. We had one lady, elderly lady, she was dying in Bombay in the hospital, Bhakti in the hospital. She was leaving her body. Bengali lady, Bengalis are very expressive people. They are like Italians. They are very, full of. Prabhupada said, no, we should have the heart of a Bengali mother and courage of a British soldier, or I say Indian soldier. When I'm in India, I don't say British soldier. But Prabhupada during British days used to say, we should have the courage of a British soldier and the heart of a Bengali mother. So Bengalis are very expressive. So this elderly lady, she was leaving her body, and devotees were trying to preach to her. They said, Mataji, you're going to die now. You're very late. Just say Hare Krishna. Just say Hare Krishna. You will be delivered. She said, no, my son. She's talking about so many other things, but she's not saying Hare Krishna. She's saying, oh no. She's feeling so much difficulty. And they're trying to convince her, see Mataji, so all your responsibilities are done. Everything is over. Now you just have to relax. Just remember Krishna. Say Hare Krishna. Then her son called from America. She spoke to her son for half an hour. That much energy she had. But when we were telling her, just say Hare Krishna. Bolo, Hare Krishna. Can you say Hare Krishna? Hare. So easy, right? She was saying, oh, difficult, very difficult. She can say very difficult. She can't say Hare Krishna. Finally, the last moment, you know what happened? The last moment. Now, this is not funny, but it sounds funny. Actually, I was sad. This Prabhuji said, Mataji, say Hare Krishna once. And you know what this Bengali lady said? Before dying, the last word she spoke was not Hare Krishna. The last word she said, she got irritated because she was told so many times to say Hare Krishna. So she said in Bengali, Baba re Baba, eto bodo naam bolte parbo na. And then she died. What she said? Baba re Baba, eto bodo naam bolte parbo na. Baba re Baba, it's such a big name, I cannot speak this. That much she could say. She could say, Baba re Baba, eto bodo naam bolte parbo na. She had to say what? Hare Krishna. That's how, when something is very simple, our mind fools us, cheats us. So don't allow the mind to cheat you. So chanting is extremely powerful. It is therapeutic. That is C. And D is prasad. Because what we eat affects our consciousness. In Vrindavan, one sadhu told us actually, in one yatra. He went with his assistant. He had a servant, this sadhu. So, there's a simple sadhu, but he had a nice servant who was to take care of him. So, very advanced sadhu. So, one Mataji came to both of them and said, Maharajji, I want to serve you. You are a very nice sadhu. Please come to my house. Let me make prasad for both of you. So, this sadhu told his assistant, I think we should please her. Let us go to her house. So, they went. But this lady was very poor, from a very simple place. So, she called. So then when they went in, the sadhu saw, oh, she's very poor, very small hut. So but she's so sincere, she called me for prasad. And when they started eating prasad, he realized, my God, she had prepared 100 items, she had prepared so much of variety. And she had cooked with so much love. So they ate prasad and everything, and then it was very satisfying. And then they were leaving. When they were leaving, after some time, the sadhu turned to his servant and said, there is something wrong you have done. Then the servant said, sorry, Gurudev. He opened his bag. That 2 serving spoons the lady was serving. She had gone in. I think there were silver spoons or something. So he took that very expensive 2 silver big spoons and put it in the bag. The servant. As if nothing had happened. And then they all wind up, and then the lady went in, so they left. So the sadhu felt, because he is a sadhu, evolved person, he knew that his servant has done something wrong. What he had done, servant? He had stolen the spoon. So then he looked at the servant and he said, how did you do it? Why did you do it? He said, I'm sorry, Gurudev, I'm really sorry. And the sadhu thought, my servant is a very good boy. He's always with me. He said, come, let's go back to the home. We have to return these spoons. So they came back, and the lady was winding up everything. So the sadhu told her, Mataji, tell me very honestly, you are a very poor woman. How did you manage to cook such a big feast? Tell me. She said, sorry, Samaraji. Actually, you are right. I'm very poor. I didn't have any money. So I stole some money from the neighbor's house. And I used the stolen money to cook this feast. So then the sadhu looked at his servant. They returned the spoons and they left. You understood what has happened? The consciousness of the lady entered the food, and the sadhu was evolved, pure devotee, he could digest. But the servant could not digest it. Jaisa anna, vaisa man. Therefore, we are very particular. I like when Maharaj said, I'll come and stay in your house if you chant 16 rounds. Because when they chant 16 rounds, the cooking, prasadam, everything will change. The consciousness will change. So that is why, in the ancient times, even now also, the sadhus, they're very particular about what they eat, where they eat, because that affects our mind, our consciousness. So these are the ABCD, and this ABCD is founded on one most important principle, which is we cannot control our mind. Ultimately, we are Bhakti Yoga practitioners. We don't want to control our mind. We want to serve Krishna, and Krishna controls our mind. Gopinath, tumi Rishikesha, Rishikadamiya, Tara e samsmriti ghore. He says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Gopinath, Anata dekhiya more, tumi Rishikesha, Rishikadamiya, Tara e samsmriti ghore. He says, I'm Anath, I'm orphan. But you are Rishikesha. You are the controller of my mind and senses. You can control my mind and senses. So we want to come close to Krishna, and Krishna is all attractive. If Krishna can charm our heart, then the mind is not a problem. We want to be conquered by Krishna, Krishna's love. And Krishna has given us wonderful association here at Farmington Hills. He has given us Bhagavatam, books, wisdom. He has given us chanting, and He has given us prasadam. I humbly request all of you, see, we are all ordinary people. Let us be very humble. We are simple. We need blessings of everyone. Everyone. In fact, we should not offend anyone. Sometimes accidentally we may do it, but we should always be in the mood of wanting blessings of everyone. In that association, mind can be conquered, because the blessings is what helps us. Association is the most powerful. What happens in good association? What happens in good association? We get the right feedback at the right time. We get guidance. Anybody here who's not made any mistake in life? Everybody has made mistakes, right? We all know. But when we have good association, we are immediately corrected. I would like to end with this one point. Association is the most important, most powerful to keep our mind controlled. And association can be at 3 levels. Lowest level is coming together. And maybe you can go to pub also. People will say, probably I'm associating with him. But what you are doing in the association, going to bar, going for some bad activity. That is not association. At the lowest level means simply coming together. At higher level, association means this: coming together and doing hearing, chanting, service. This is association. And at the highest level, association means depending on the blessings of the other person. So if in the heart of heart, if I'm thinking, okay, I want this Prabhu's blessing. If I'm in that mood, then I'm associating with you, even if you are very far away. So if we have this mood of wanting blessings of everyone, then we're associating. And if we have this association, then we will get right correction, right feedback at the right time. And then we can handle this crazy mind, which will come out with all horrible ideas. It will make us do the most stupid thing. Mind will make us betray our own values. mind can royally cheat us. Therefore, we need to always have good association, good friends. See, we all make mistakes, that's okay, but you are not a mistake. Just have good people around you, have wisdom, association of sadhus like Maharaj, chanting, deity worship, prasadam. And of course, deity worship is all part of Bhakti Yoga. But essentially, the ABCD is what Prabhupada has given us. And this will help us handle our mind. There is so much more we can talk, but I would like to pause here. No, we can go for question and answers. No? Yeah. Okay. So ABCD is founded, Srila Prabhupada gave us this simple formula. That's what I'll come back to this point. Don't think that just because it is given, that just because it is simple, it is not effective. The Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna actually tells Krishna that Krishna, I cannot control my mind. You know what Arjuna tells Krishna? You can repeat this verse after me. Very powerful. Arjuna has analyzed the mind like nobody else can analyze. He says, please repeat. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati balavadridam Tasyaham nigraham manye Vayor iva sudushkaram. He says, Krishna, my mind is chanchal. You know, chanchal means restless, keeps running here and there. So he says, my mind is chanchal, my mind keeps running here and there. Now, sometimes the word chanchal sounds very sweet. It's a feminine name. Oh, very sweet, chanchal. It appears as if mind is very cute. Mind is restless, but mind is not cute. You can't say, you know, mind is like my child. My child keeps running here and there. My child is restless. So my mind is restless like a child? No. Arjuna says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. Krishna, my mind is chanchal, restless, but Pramati balavadridam. My mind is Pramati. My mind is mad. It is not simply a cute, restless child. It is a mad person who is restless. Imagine a mad, restless and mad. You may say, still it is okay. My mind is a child. I can control a restless, mad child. No, he says, Pramati, Balavad. Balavad means strong like an elephant. My mind is not a cute, restless child. My mind is not a cute, restless, mad child. My mind is a restless, mad elephant. Strong. Chanchalam means restless. Pramati means mad. Balavad means strong. You may say, so what? Mind may be very strong, but I am very good in negotiation skills. I will negotiate. I will logically talk and control it. The last word, Arjuna says, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati Balavad Dridam. Dridam means obstinate, stubborn, incorrigible, unreasonable. Mind is determined not to surrender. Then Arjuna says, Tasyaham nigraham manye. I cannot control this mind, but Krishna, Vayor iva sudushkaram. I can control a cyclone. Arjuna had so much power that by his arrows he could control a cyclone, thunderstorm. But he cannot control his mind. Can the US Army control a cyclone? No. Can any army in the world control a cyclone? You may have relief measures afterwards, or you may have relief measures before the cyclone, but you can't stop it. Arjuna could stop a cyclone, but he couldn't control his mind. Therefore, in Bhakti Yoga, we don't want to be yogis who control the mind. Our goal is not to become yogis who control the mind. Our goal is to tell Krishna, Krishna, I love you. Krishna, I want to serve you. Krishna, please help me. And then Krishna will take care of the mind. But we chant, we do all these things to show Krishna, I am sincere, Krishna. See, I am sincerely chanting, I am sincerely coming to temple. Now please help. Arjuna had so much power that he could resist the advances of Urvashi, who came to him to enjoy in the heavenly planets. And Urvashi was very, very beautiful. And Arjuna told her, Hare Krishna Mataji. She said, I'm not Mataji. I can enjoy with you. He said, no. That means you have so much sense control. And in the heavenly planets, the laws were different. It's not like in Earth. The morality values, laws were not like that. So he could have enjoyed with her. So he could say no to her. That much powerful he was. Still, he says, my mind is overwhelming. And Krishna in the solution, he says, Abhyasa, practice, detachment. So for the ABCD which Prabhupada is given is based on the instructions given in the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Because this is what helps us access Krishna's grace. Otherwise, at our level, when we try to solve our problems with our mind, intelligence and ego influenced, you know what is happening? Because our mind is not in control. The solutions we create, the solutions we give creates a bigger problem than the original problem. Do you understand what I say? Because our mind is not in control, we try to solve a problem, we create a bigger problem. Like, I didn't know plumbing, carpentry, and I was staying in one small base. We had started for youth preaching. The water started leaking in the sink, the kitchen. I tried to do repair on my own. Bigger mess. You don't know cooking and you go to the kitchen and start experimenting. The kitchen becomes a bigger mess. Your laptop conks up and you don't know how to repair the laptop and you try to solve it. It becomes a bigger problem. So in ignorance, when we try to solve a problem, the solution creates bigger problem than original problem. Right? Therefore, we don't know how to handle this mind. And instead of learning about the mind, and instead of learning about Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga, if we try to solve the problem of the mind, we try to solve the life problems without understanding spirituality, we create bigger problem than original problem. The scriptures give the story of a sadhu who had a big beard, and he was sitting under a tree and doing dhyan. What was he chanting? Om, chanting. And from the tree, one ant fell on his beard, big ant. He said, oh, I'm a non-violent sadhu. Phew, my dear ant, go back to the tree. Go back. You should not be harmed. Go back. So I was just putting the ant back in the tree. There was a whole bunch of ants there. They all fell on his beard. And to save his beard, he ran and he jumped into a pond to clean his beard. So he cleaned his beard and came out. And then he realized, oh, I tried to save one ant. I ended up killing so many ants. This is the classic case of solution creates bigger problem than original problem. Earlier, the problem in the world was what? Walking. People had to walk long distance. So they created automobiles, car. Walking problem was solved. Now everybody has car. But now pollution has increased. What is the problem now? Breathing, no fresh air. What is the bigger problem? Walking problem or breathing problem? Solution creates bigger problem than... See, I am an economics student. So for 7 years, I was studying economics, international finance. So we had one very classic paradox in economics. It is called the Cobra paradox. So for the economics students will know what I'm talking about. During the British Raj in India, in New Delhi, the population of cobras increased a lot. Deadly cobras. And the British Sarkar said we should do something about this. So they made an announcement. They said there are a lot of cobras in this city. If somebody can catch cobra and give us cobra, for every cobra you give, we will give you 1 rupee. So the British government thought people will catch cobras. They'll be inspired to catch these cobras who are running here and there and give us, and we'll give them 1 rupee and the cobra problem will be solved. But this British government had underestimated the creative genius of Indian Marwadis who were staying in Delhi. They started breeding cobras. And so many cobras they bred every day. And every day they were going to the British government and saying, take cobras. So after some days, the British government realized, hey, there is some mischief going on. So you know what the government did? They said, The scheme is stop. We are not going to give any money. So now what this Marwadis did, there are so many cobras. What they did now? They opened and they released the cobras. So earlier cobra population was X. Now it became 3X. So they tried to solve a problem. That solution created bigger problem than original problem. Person is lonely. He sees loneliness problem I should solve by getting married. In Hindi they have a saying, जिसने जल्दबाजी में शादी की उसने अपना जिंदगी बिगाड़ लिया. I'll translate it in English. One who gets married in a hurry, yes, destroyed his life. जिसने जल्दबाजी में शादी की उसने अपना जिंदगी बिगाड़ लिया. जिसने सोच समझ कर की उसने कौन सा तीर मार दिया. One who gets married after a deep contemplation, what great thing he has achieved. Of course, this is just a joke. We have exemplary grihasthas. Just a joke. But the point I'm saying is, ignorance is a problem. Ignorance is the problem. And in ignorance, when we try to solve problem, that solution creates bigger problem than original problem. Because the mind, intelligence, ego nexus is extremely bad. Therefore, we need sadhus, we need association of devotees, we need people who genuinely love us. And when we live in a community, we will make mistakes, we will have ego clashes. But we should be humble enough to stay along in that association, understanding that association can be at 3 levels. Lowest level is simply physical association, higher is doing seva together, and the highest level of association is depending genuinely on the blessings of all the other devotees. Then when we depend on their blessings, Krishna will protect us from our mind, Krishna will protect us from external dangers, and our life will be auspicious. We need blessings of everyone, even children. Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, I need blessings of future readers. He's asking blessings of the readers of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Everyone who is coming to Krishna is dear to Krishna. So in this mood, let us make this community here at ISKCON Farmington Hills a community where Krishna is the center, where service to Vaishnavas is the bonding, which keeps us close to Krishna, and let us depend on each other's blessings, love and mercy. And let us live a life beyond ourselves. When we only think of ourselves, I, me and mine, we can never be happy. One of the biggest reasons why our mind is troubling us, because we are only full of ourselves. And because of that, we are unable to access Krishna. I don't know. Do you have coins in America? Or only bills, $1 bills? Do you also have? Do you have a coin? Can somebody lend me $1 coin or whatever? I'll end with this one simple example, and then we can have question answers for Maharaj. Yes. Toss it. Yes. Okay. Anyone? Okay. This is a $1 coin. Huh? Quarter. Okay. If you take this coin, keep it close to your eyes. And the midday sun, you look at the sun with a coin close to your eyes like this. You know what this coin does? It covers the vision of the sun. You can't see the sun. Now, what is the size of the sun compared to the coin? How many quadrillion times bigger is the sun compared to this coin? Right? But this small coin has a potential to cover the sun. Similarly, your problem right now, my problem, which is here in the head, this is like coin. And Krishna is like sun. When we keep our problems close to our vision, our consciousness, we can't see Krishna. We are full of ourselves. We are suffering. So our suffering has become more because of I, me, ahankar, nitya ahankar. So let us come out of our own head. Let us live for others. And while living for others, we will make mistakes. That is okay. Krishna will forgive. But if the mood is right, if we depend on everybody's blessings, then even if our mind is troubling us, Krishna will note our sincerity. He will help us move on. You know, sometimes it's not easy to live in a community. Everybody has their own false egos. Everybody is struggling. Everybody is suffering. But let us tolerate each other. Let us love each other and remember Krishna. And that way, our life will be auspicious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. श्री श्री राधा गोपीजन वल्लभ भगवान की जय। श्री श्री निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि भगवान की जय। श्री भक्ति वासुदेव महाराज की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So Hare Krishna devotees. So our question answer session. We can take one question for one and one question for the general like that will happen. So time is up to you. Let us see how many.
स्वागत आचार्य video just tell him after the program I want to meet him for 1 minute something.
I have one question related to the highest category of association. As you said, if we want blessing from someone, some devotee, then we are associating with him even if we are not present with him. So is it like if we are at home and we want blessings from, let's say, Prabhupada, so we are associating with him here at home?
Hare Krishna. There is 1 minute announcement. Wednesday is Radhashtami, so you are all requested to come and attend the festival. Is to come. Secondly, Bhagavad is actually so 18th is actually Bhagavad Purnima. Anybody receives Bhagavad as a gift that day. Yeah. So it's one as a campaign. So if you are interested, you can take Bhagavad. This is a very auspicious time of year. So what is that? This is mentioned in the Jyoti edition of Bhagavad. If you read Bhagavad and receive Bhagavad as a gift on that day, so the resurrection is grace. They can give it to somebody else.
Even if you receive, and you start reading also on the key important aspects, like one of the 5 major aspects of Bhakti, having devotee, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting for again, worshipping the reform of Krishna, and living in the Holy Grail. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a high weightage for a spiritual progress. So everybody should have Bhagavatam. Only when you have Bhagavatam only, then you will be able to read. But we may say, I can read on laptop, I can read on internet. But when you go to use your phone or use your laptop, you have many things, there will be distraction. But when you have Bhagavatam, you have only Krishna, only Bhagavatam. So definitely reading at least start with 10 minutes a day, good for you, good for your family. That way when we start with the good habits for your statement, now to control the mind, you have to have a lot of good habits. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam is the best habit. So as a part of our next time 1 minute program, we are distributing it. They can group yourself around the Lord from your friend. Meet together any part of the day, night time of your work is you can conclude your day with reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the best way. So please and we can be able to help you. We can connect to any teacher, we can help you to read Srimad Bhagavatam. So that you don't find any difficulty about it. And we are having a sort of program. Please before you can
So so your question is how I spoke about 3 types of association. So you are saying if I'm remembering Prabhupada at home, does that mean I'm associating with Srila Prabhupada? Right? And so yes, if we depend on blessings of Srila Prabhupada, we're associating with Srila Prabhupada. But that doesn't mean that I'm associating with Srila Prabhupada by remembering him at home. So I don't need association of devotees in the temple. You understand? So there is no substitute for physical association of devotees who are serving Srila Prabhupada. We can't say I will avoid all the devotees and I just associate with Prabhupada. Then the mind will come through the back door. Mind can come through in the name of, mind can come in the disguise of Krishna also. Mind is very tricky. Sometimes we want to be alone, not want devotees around us. So we should be careful of that. We can remember Prabhupada when we are alone and associate with Prabhupada, but we should also associate with devotees.
So I have like follow-up question. So let's say, and Prabhupada also says if we are reading books, then we are also reading, like for example, let's say we are reading Bhagavad Gita from Prabhupada, we are also reading. So let's say I have like 1 hour, and I have 2 options: either coming to the temple to associate with Jigal Prabhu and like Maharaj and like other devotees, or reading Bhagavad Gita 1 hour. So which one is better?
See, there is no fixed formula. One day you can come to temple, next day you can read. You can try trial and error and you can discover a proper combination. Don't have to strictly see there is moral dilemma and ethical dilemma. If you tell me, Prabhuji, I have 1 hour, should I come to temple, should I go to a bar? For the moral dilemma, bad and good, what you should choose? Good. That means in this case, come to temple. So moral dilemma easy to answer. What is moral dilemma? There is a bad choice, good choice. What we should do? Good choice. I should go to bar, I should go to temple. Come to temple. That is the moral dilemma. But your question is ethical dilemma. Ethical dilemma means 2 good choices. A, read Prabhupada books. Second, come to temple. So for ethical dilemma, I would say whatever you are inspired by, do it. There, if we keep saying right, wrong, there is no end to it. Because there is no absolute answer for that. Both are important. Reading Prabhupada books is also important. Associating with devotees is also important. One day I was reading Prabhupada books. I had quota. I'm telling you why ethical dilemma is very tricky. I had made sadhana card. I had said I want to read every day 1 hour Prabhupada book. I made a law like that. And one day I was really struggling for time. And I was running around. And then some of the brahmacharis friends, my senior devotees, they were all sitting and talking. And it was such a nice energy there. Loving exchanges. I was there. I saw them. But I was running to the library to read my 1 hour quota. And I said, should I be here? Should I go for reading? But that my heart was telling me, be here with the devotees. But my mind, because I had made that target, my mind was saying, go and read, go and read. So I was struggling. I buried my heart's desire and I ran to the library, opened the book and I started reading. And the first sentence that came to my thing was, Prabhupada in Nectar of Instructions writing, one should associate with devotees whenever you get a chance. So I closed the book and came running down and associated with devotees. So it is very tricky. So ethical dilemma, sometimes you don't know. Both are good choices. So follow your heart, but don't avoid devotees saying that Prabhupada books only I will read. Because mercy, blessings is there in association. In fact, I have seen that live class, even if it is, an ordinary devotee giving, but who is again parampara, live class is better than, just sitting in the home alone with online, as Bhagavad Acharya was saying, on the phone. There are so many distractions. We may begin by hearing Prabhupada's class on YouTube, but then we'll start watching some Netflix and your mind will trick us. Better to come in association, even if they are not very, very pure devotees. Sincere devotees, association is better than being alone and associating with pure devotees. Mind can cheat us. That is my humble opinion. I can be corrected. I'm very sorry. Maharaj is here. Please ask questions to Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Anybody has a question for Maharaj?
I'll go.
Whatever. Question, Maharaj. They have a question.
What is it?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
He's asking from there, Maharaj, near the pillar.
Raise your hand so that Maharaj can see.
Okay.
I have a question. Change creates fear in the mind. So anything when change happens, like suddenly like you lose your job, then like a person becomes unemployed. So that fear comes in the mind. How overcome this change? And change is a constant.
How to overcome fear when the change is constant.
Thank you. Yeah, like you rightly quoted, this is a wall of change, and change is it's a constant, variable is the object of change. So when we do have fear, fear arises because we do not know, say, what we are going in for. If, for instance, you are in your home, or you're having a good time with family, and all of a sudden a stranger comes past this car and says, "Hey, get into that car, get into that car." You don't know where they're going to take you to. That is someone initiating a negative change, and therefore the fright is there because you don't know where you're going. It's just like when people are about to die, they don't know what they're going to face after death, so they are in fear. But the person who knows and depends on the mercy of the Lord, if he reclines on the mercy of the Lord, I've seen people, I know one of the presidents in the US here, he told me a story. He's been practicing for years, and when he lost his job, it took him 7 years to get another job. So here was a negative change, but he had firm trust in Krishna. Why the trust? First, he knows Krishna's competency. Krishna is pretty effective and efficient in all that he does. All of his promises, effectively, efficiently will deliver. And he says, my devotee shall never perish. So we may pass through some challenges, and we need to understand that being a devotee does not preclude us from facing a negative change. Even the positive change we initiate, about 65% of change initiatives fail. Change is a big thing in management science. And so yes, there is that apprehension, but if we understand that there are certain things we can let go, the things we can't control, we should let go and recline on the absolute. When we depend on Krishna, it becomes like the scenario where Draupadi was struggling by herself and she couldn't really save herself. But now, when she reclined on Krishna, called out, Krishna came to the rescue. So the fear is that we are not able to call out to Krishna. We're struggling, we're working hard on ourselves. Gajendra was doing that too. He was apprehensive. But then he remembered, oh, let me pray to Lord Krishna, let me pray to Lord Vishnu. And immediately, Lord Vishnu came to the rescue. Yeah. What can we do as conditioned souls? Not much we can do, but there's a great advantage for the living entity who is surrendered unto the Lord. The Lord simply uses him or her as an instrument for a positive change. And even when the devotee has to go through a negative change, that is considered a crash program. You know, a crash program, you are supposed to do a degree program for 5 years, and if it is designated or designed for a crash, maybe 2 years. But within those 2 years, you have a heavy workload. The period is short. So some of us have to go through just this one lifetime to purify ourselves instead of having to come for millions and millions of lifetimes. And so we have to pass through some change, some negative change, apparent negative change, but no, Krishna is in charge. And if we understand we are passing through a crash program, there is no need for apprehensiveness. We understand this is the purification. I'm on a crash program. Let me just endeavor and beg for the mercy of the Lord to pass through without fear or favor. So yeah, fear is always there. But for the devotee, he is what? A buyer. What is the source of fearlessness? He reclines on Krishna. Krishna is feared by fear personified himself. So let's understand what we are dealing with, whom we are dealing with, whom we are surrendered onto. Now, it's not some ordinary person, it's not the president of the United States. Who becomes a president today and tomorrow he becomes a fellow. Krishna is all powerful. He will always come to the rescue if we properly take advantage and clinch onto his lotus feet. We don't need to fear anything. We do the proper thing at the right time, and we don't have cause to fear. The deer, when the deer wants to cross the road, the deer looks left and right. And he doesn't walk across the road majestically. He goes at a jet speed. Boom! Why? He's afraid. He doesn't have this consciousness that, oh, Krishna is there to protect me. No. The deer is depending on his power. And so he's trying to protect himself. So he runs across the road very fast. If we understand that we don't have the power to protect ourselves, we depend on Krishna for the protection, then we recline on Krishna and we don't have any cause for fear. For the devotee, he prays, hey, death, come right now. I'm ready. Now that I'm still able to chant without choking voice, my mouth is not choked with mucus. Death, come now. And what is the greatest fear of humans? Death. People have heard of death before even the soul passes off. They pass through, they urinate, they do all type of things there. They're just afraid. Why? Because they don't know their destination, what is in there for them. They don't know. But the devotee, even when he lost his job, he is confident that Krishna will arrange. And it's true, Krishna has been arranging. Okay? Thank you for your insightful question.
Very good answer.